Speaking test instructions. The speaking test is 20 minutes. There are 8 tasks in the speaking test. Please try your best to answer all the questions.
Start speaking now. Time is up. 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 Start speaking now. Time is up.
Samantha. Being invited to serve on a nonprofit board represents meaningful recognition of your expertise and commitment to causes you care about. Nevertheless, board service is a serious commitment that deserves honest evaluation of whether you can realistically fulfill the responsibilities without damaging other important areas of your life. First and foremost, understand that nonprofit board members typically have legal fiduciary duties requiring attendance at monthly meetings, participation in committee work, fundraising responsibilities, and strategic oversight that can easily consume 10 to 15 hours monthly or more during intensive periods. Furthermore, board service isn't just showing up to meetings. Effective board members review materials in advance, engage in fundraising personally and through their networks, and sometimes manage challenging organizational issues requiring significant time and emotional energy. Additionally, accepting a board position when you cannot fulfill the responsibilities adequately actually harms the organization rather than helping, as they're counting on board members to provide governance, resources, and strategic guidance that the organization needs to function effectively. Moreover, your current demanding job and personal life commitments suggest that adding substantial unpaid obligations might push you toward burnout or force you to shortchange either your paid work, personal well-being, or the nonprofit itself. Although the opportunity is flattering and the cause is meaningful, consider whether this is the right timing given your life circumstances, or whether declining now while expressing interest in future involvement might be more responsible. Consequently, I'd recommend having honest conversations with current board members about the realistic time expectations, evaluating whether you can make that commitment without significant sacrifice, and determining if there are alternative ways to support the organization that don't require board-level responsibility. Additionally, consider whether your employer might support this service through paid volunteer time or whether the nonprofit might accept modified participation that works with your constraints. Despite the honor of being asked, protecting your well-being and existing commitments should take priority over accepting prestigious roles you cannot adequately fulfill. 2 years ago, during an important client meeting where I was presenting our team's technical solution, a client executive asked me a detailed question about regulatory compliance requirements in their specific industry that I simply didn't know the answer to. The question was technical and specific, involving particular data retention regulations that varied by jurisdiction. And honestly, I had not anticipated this level of regulatory detail would come up in what I thought would be a higher-level strategic discussion. Furthermore, my immediate instinct was to attempt to answer based on general knowledge or provide a vague response that sounded confident, as I felt pressure to appear competent in front of both the client and my own management team who were present. Additionally, I worried that admitting ignorance might undermine the client's confidence in our team's expertise and potentially jeopardize the contract we were hoping to secure. However, I realized that providing inaccurate information about regulatory compliance could expose both the client and our company to serious legal and financial risks. Instead of bluffing, I took a deep breath and said honestly, "That's an excellent and important question, and I want to make sure I give you accurate information rather than guessing. I don't have the specific details about those particular regulations immediately available, but I can connect you with our compliance specialist who handles exactly these issues. And I'll ensure you have a comprehensive answer by tomorrow morning." Moreover, I immediately wrote down the question verbatim, acknowledged its importance to their decision-making process, and committed to a specific timeline for providing the accurate information they needed. The client's response was actually positive. The executive thanked me for my honesty and said they appreciated working with people who were straightforward about the limits of their knowledge rather than providing unreliable information. Additionally, I followed through immediately after the meeting by consulting with our compliance team, and I sent the client a detailed, well-researched answer within hours rather than waiting until the next day. We ultimately won the contract, and the client later told my manager that my honest handling of that question actually increased their confidence in our team. This experience taught me that professional credibility comes from reliability and honesty rather than pretending to know everything, and that clients value transparency and follow through more than the appearance of omniscience. This vibrant illustration depicts a lively outdoor antique flea market taking place on a Sunday morning in a historic town square, where collectors, treasure hunters, and casual browsers are exploring an eclectic array of vintage items and curiosities spread across dozens of vendor stalls. The market features a mix of professional dealers with organized display tables and casual sellers, with items arranged on colorful blankets directly on the cobblestone pavement. In the foreground, a silver-haired woman wearing cat eyeglasses is carefully examining an ornate Victorian picture frame, turning it over to inspect the backing and price tag while the vendor, a distinguished gentleman in a vest and bow tie, shares the item's provenance and historical significance. Meanwhile, a young couple is rifling through cardboard boxes filled with vintage vinyl records. The man holding up an album cover excitedly as he discovers a rare pressing from his favorite band. On the right side of the scene, a collector specializing in vintage cameras has arranged an impressive display of antique photography equipment on velvet-covered tables, including brass bellows cameras, early Polaroid models, and leather camera cases with tarnished metal clasps. Additionally, a teenage girl is trying on costume jewelry at a neighboring stall, holding vintage brooches up to her collar while checking her reflection in a handheld mirror. The background reveals more vendors showcasing diverse merchandise including tarnished silverware, weathered leather suitcases covered with travel stickers, porcelain dolls with glass eyes, antique clocks in various states of repair, and stacks of yellowed books and magazines. Furthermore, a food cart selling fresh lemonade and pretzels provides refreshment to shoppers carrying their newly acquired treasures in canvas tote bags. What makes this marketplace particularly captivating is how it transforms discarded objects from previous eras into sought-after collectibles, creating a tangible connection to history while supporting sustainable consumption practices and providing economic opportunities for those who possess the knowledge to recognize value in forgotten items. Initially, the distinguished elderly couple will complete their examination of the vintage photograph before negotiating its price with the vendor, whereas young collectors browsing vinyl records will continue searching for rare albums to add to their collections. Subsequently, families with children will explore toy stalls featuring antique dolls and vintage collectibles, while simultaneously, the lemonade vendor will serve refreshing beverages to thirsty shoppers on this sunny afternoon. Meanwhile, antique enthusiasts will presumably engage in passionate discussions about provenance and authenticity of various items, and consequently, some vendors might adjust their pricing based on customer interest levels. Furthermore, as the flea market progresses, serious collectors will arrive seeking specific vintage cameras, clocks, or jewelry displayed throughout the marketplace. Despite the overwhelming variety of merchandise available, experienced shoppers maintain focused strategies. Nevertheless, unexpected treasures often catch even the most disciplined buyer's attention. In addition, the woman trying on costume jewelry might purchase multiple pieces after discovering their reasonable prices. In conclusion, This vibrant antique flea market will continue operating until early evening, facilitating countless transactions where historical objects find new appreciative owners, thereby preserving cultural heritage while creating economic opportunities for vendors and collectors in this charming historic town square. Christina, I understand your preference for the casual holiday mixer format, but I believe the casino night theme represents the better choice for our company's annual holiday party. First and foremost, casino nights provide interactive entertainment that actively engages employees throughout the event rather than leaving people standing around making awkward small talk, which often happens at unstructured mixers. Furthermore, the gambling-style games create natural icebreakers and conversation starters that help employees from different departments connect in relaxed, fun ways that build cross-functional relationships. Additionally, casino nights offer varied activity options including poker, blackjack, roulette, and craps that appeal to different preferences, ensuring that everyone can find something engaging rather than feeling bored or excluded. Moreover, the competitive element and fake money prizes create excitement and memorable moments that employees talk about long after the event, generating positive associations with company culture and holiday celebrations. Although some employees might have personal or religious objections to gambling themes, consider that casino nights use play money and prizes rather than real gambling, making them clearly entertainment rather than actual wagering that would raise legitimate ethical concerns. Consequently, we can address concerns by communicating clearly that this is a game-themed party with no real money involved, and by ensuring alternative activities are available for anyone uncomfortable with the casino concept. Despite the need to hire professional dealers, this cost is offset by the fact that entertainment is built into the theme rather than requiring expensive separate entertainment like bands or performers. The formal awards dinner option, while honoring achievements, risks feeling like a work obligation rather than a celebration. And the casual mixer, though accessible, often results in people leaving early because there's nothing engaging to keep them at the event. Don't you think providing interactive entertainment that facilitates relationship building is more valuable than a low-key event that people might find forgettable? Christina, while I appreciate the interactive appeal of a casino night, I strongly believe the formal awards dinner represents the most meaningful and appropriate choice for our company holiday party. First and foremost, the holiday party is our primary opportunity to formally recognize employee contributions and achievements from the past year, and a structured awards program ensures that deserving employees receive public acknowledgement they might not otherwise get. Furthermore, recognizing accomplishments in an elegant, professional setting demonstrates that the company genuinely values employee contributions rather than treating recognition as an afterthought to entertainment. Additionally, formal awards dinners create meaningful emotional moments when employees receive recognition in front of peers and leadership, often serving as career highlights that employees remember and appreciate far more than casual party entertainment. Moreover, the professional, elegant atmosphere signals that this is a special occasion worthy of employees' time and attention, encouraging people to dress up, bring partners, and treat the event as significant rather than just another casual company gathering. Although the program may be speech-heavy, consider that well-planned awards presentations can be both meaningful and efficiently paced, especially when we limit speeches and incorporate multimedia presentations highlighting achievements. Consequently, we can structure the evening to balance recognition with social time, ensuring that the formal elements don't dominate the entire event. Despite concerns about feeling corporate, Most employees actually appreciate when their companies invest in creating special occasions that honor their work, and formal events demonstrate respect for employees' contributions. The casino night option, while entertaining, essentially prioritizes fun over recognition and might offend employees with religious or personal objections to gambling themes. The casual mixer lacks any meaningful structure or purpose beyond basic socializing. Don't you think employees deserve a celebration that meaningfully honors their contributions rather than just providing generic entertainment? Hello, Mr. Peterson. Thank you for offering me this consulting contract with your company. I'm genuinely excited about this opportunity and eager to contribute to your team's projects. Nevertheless, I need to discuss a scheduling matter regarding the proposed start date, and I hope we can find a workable solution. Furthermore, I have a significant personal commitment during the first week of the contract period that I made several months before receiving your offer. I have tickets to attend my favorite band's farewell concert tour, and this represents their final performances before permanent retirement. Additionally, I realize this might seem like a minor personal matter compared to a professional contract, but this is genuinely a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, as the band will never perform together again. Moreover, I want to be completely transparent with you about this conflict rather than trying to handle it less directly, because I believe honest communication is essential for building strong working relationships. Although I understand that starting a week later than originally planned might create scheduling complications, I'm hoping your team might be flexible about the start date, given that I'm bringing this to your attention well in advance. Consequently, if beginning 1 week later would work for your project timeline, I would be extremely grateful and fully committed to hitting the ground running once I start. Additionally, I want to assure you that this is truly an exceptional circumstance. I'm not someone who regularly prioritizes personal activities over professional commitments, and I would bring complete dedication and professionalism to this consulting engagement throughout the entire 6-month contract. Despite this request potentially creating concerns about my commitment, I hope demonstrating honesty about the conflict and asking directly rather than making excuses or calling in sick during my first week might actually show the kind of straightforward communication style I would bring to our working relationship. Would your team be able to accommodate a start date of 1 week later than originally proposed? Hello. I'm calling to request a refund for concert tickets I purchased for the upcoming farewell tour. I understand there may be cancellation fees or restrictions, but I need to explore my options for returning these tickets. Furthermore, I'm facing a professional opportunity that conflicts with the concert date, and after careful consideration, I've decided that I need to prioritize my career commitment over attending this performance. Additionally, I purchased these tickets several months ago when my schedule was different, and I genuinely didn't anticipate this conflict arising. The tickets were for my favorite band's final tour before they retire permanently, and this was supposed to be my only opportunity to see them perform live. Moreover, I'm honestly disappointed about missing this concert because I've been a fan for years and was really looking forward to this experience. Nevertheless, I've accepted that sometimes professional obligations require sacrificing personal entertainment, even when those sacrifices are painful. Although I realize that concert tickets are often non-refundable, I'm hoping there might be options for resale, transfer, or partial refund that would help offset my loss. Consequently, could you please explain what refund or resale options might be available for these tickets? Additionally, if direct refunds aren't possible, are there marketplace platforms you recommend for reselling tickets to other fans who would appreciate attending? Despite my disappointment, I understand that ticket policies exist for good reasons, and I'll accept whatever options are available. I appreciate your help in navigating this situation. And I hope these tickets can go to someone who will be able to attend and enjoy the concert. What are my options for handling these tickets given that I can no longer attend? Governments should provide free or heavily subsidized public transportation, as this policy would generate substantial environmental, economic, and social benefits that justify the public investment required. First and foremost, free public transit would significantly reduce car usage and associated emissions, directly addressing climate change and air quality problems that impose enormous health costs and environmental damage on society. Furthermore, transportation represents a major expense for low-income households, and eliminating transit costs would effectively provide income support to people who need it most, while improving their access to employment, education, and services. Additionally, free public transportation would reduce traffic congestion that currently wastes billions of dollars in lost productivity, fuel consumption, and infrastructure wear, potentially offsetting a significant portion of the program costs through reduced need for road expansion and maintenance. Moreover, many European cities that have implemented free or very low-cost transit have seen substantial increases in ridership, reduced car dependency, and improved quality of life for residents, demonstrating that this policy works in practice. Nevertheless, implementing free transit requires substantial public funding, and governments must ensure that removing fare revenue doesn't lead to reduced service quality or frequency that would undermine the policy's goals. Consequently, free transit should be accompanied by adequate public investment in expanding routes, improving reliability, and maintaining clean, safe vehicles and stations that make public transportation genuinely attractive compared to private cars. Additionally, this policy might be most effective if implemented gradually, perhaps starting with specific demographics like students and seniors, or specific routes serving low-income areas, allowing systems to adjust before full implementation. Some argue that people don't value free services and that nominal fares encourage responsible use. But evidence suggests that convenience, reliability, and coverage matter far more than cost for most transportation decisions. Therefore, providing free public transportation represents sound public policy that addresses environmental urgency, reduces inequality, improves economic efficiency, and enhances quality of life in ways that justify treating transit as a public good like roads, rather than a fee-for-service commodity. Paul, you absolutely need to check out Hartman's Home Center before they close today. While helping my brother select some hardware, I discovered the most incredible mailbox that would look absolutely stunning at the end of your driveway. This piece is designed to look like a miniature lighthouse, complete with red and white spiral stripes painted around the cylindrical tower and a functioning, rotating light at the top that automatically turns on at dusk. Instead of a standard mailbox door, the mail slot is positioned where the lighthouse keeper's entrance would be, with a small brass door that has porthole-style windows etched into it. What makes this absolutely remarkable is how the entire structure is made from heavy-gauge, marine-grade steel that's been powder-coated to withstand any weather conditions. And the top section actually features a real Fresnel lens that magnifies the LED light inside. Furthermore, the base is designed to look like rocky coastal cliffs with realistic texturing and coloring. And there's even a small solar panel cleverly integrated into the rocks that powers the rotating beacon light. Not only is it completely weatherproof and rust-resistant, but it also includes a locking mechanism and a spacious interior that can hold packages up to medium size. The store doesn't allow photography of their premium designer collection to maintain their exclusive partnerships with manufacturers. Given how you mentioned wanting something distinctive that reflects your love of coastal New England architecture, and considering you're right on the corner where everyone sees your property, this lighthouse mailbox would definitely make your home the most memorable on the street. They only had 3 left in stock when I saw them.